Grandpa Ned had survived 3 wars, 2 heart attacks, and a lifetime of other people's mistakes, but he knew the taste of betrayal the moment the wine touched his lips. It was subtle, almond bitter beneath the blackberry notes, but unmistakable. Ned froze, glass hovering inches from his mouth, eyes lifting slowly to the long oak table where his family sat smiling like saints in a church painting. 68 years of marriage had taught him many things, and one of them was this: when your own blood wants you gone, they'll dress it up as love. He set the glass down carefully. The dinner was supposed to be a celebration. Grandpa Ned's 83rd birthday, roast duck, rosemary potatoes, candles too small for the cake. His daughter Marlene sat across from him, hands folded, lips curved in a smile that never quite reached her eyes. Beside her was her husband, Phil, soft-spoken, earnest Phil, who looked like a man who apologized to chairs when he bumped into them. Ned had raised Marlene alone after her mother passed. He taught her to ride a bike, to balance a checkbook, to stand up straight when the world tried to fold her in half. He had also taught her patience, or so he thought. The taste lingered, bitter, wrong. Ned didn't panic. Panic was for people who still believed in fairness. He believed in observation. He watched Marlene. She wasn't eating. She kept glancing at his glass. There it was. He smiled and lifted his fork. "Phil," Ned said warmly, "you don't mind if an old man steals a sip of your wine, do you? Mine's gone a bit warm." Phil blinked. "Oh sure, of course, Dad, I mean Ned." Marlene's smile tightened, a thread pulled too far. As Phil reached for his glass, Ned moved with the easy clumsiness of age, knocking his elbow against the table. Glasses rattled, apologies spilled. In the chaos, Ned switched the glasses so smoothly it would have impressed a card sharp. No one noticed, except Marlene. Her eyes widened just a fraction, enough. Dinner continued. Laughter returned, brittle but loud. Ned ate slowly, savoring the duck, the room, the sound of forks against plates. He watched Phil drink. At first, nothing happened. Then Phil's hand began to shake. He frowned at it, confused. "That's odd," he murmured. Marlene stiffened. "Phil." His face drained of color. The shake became a tremor, the tremor a shudder. He tried to stand, failed, and collapsed back into his chair, breath hitching like a broken engine. The room erupted. Someone screamed, a glass shattered. Ned stayed seated. "Call an ambulance," Marlene cried, already at Phil's side, her voice sharp with something that wasn't fear. Ned leaned back and folded his hands over his cane. "That won't help," he said quietly. Marlene turned on him. "What did you say?" "That poison works fast," Ned replied, "especially when you're not expecting it." Silence slammed down like a door. Marlene stared at him, her mouth opening and closing. "What are you talking about?" Ned met her gaze. "You tell me." The ambulance came too late. The doctors tried, but Phil was gone before midnight. Official cause, poisoning, unknown source. The police asked questions, lots of them. Ned answered carefully, truthfully. He never mentioned the switch. No one asked. At the funeral, Marlene wept into a black handkerchief. She looked smaller somehow, like a house after a fire. Ned watched from the front pew, grief and something colder sitting side by side in his chest. Weeks later, she came to him. She stood in his living room, hands twisting, eyes red-rimmed but dry. "You knew," she said. Ned nodded. "I tasted it." "Why didn't you stop it?" "I did," he said gently. Her breath hitched. "You let Phil die." Ned rose slowly, leaning on his cane. "No," he said, "you killed Phil." She shook her head violently. "It was supposed to be you. I needed the inheritance, the house. I was drowning, Dad, I thought." "You thought I wouldn't notice," Ned said. "You thought I was old and soft." She collapsed onto the couch, sobbing. "I didn't mean for him to drink it." Ned's voice hardened. "You meant for someone to die." She looked up at him then, really looked, and seemed to see the man beneath the wrinkles, the survivor, the watcher, the one who always knew when a storm was coming. Why didn't you tell the police? She whispered. Ned turned toward the window, where sunlight fell across the floor like a quiet judgment. Because prison wouldn't teach you what you need to learn. And what's that? That your choices echo, he said, and you don't get to decide how. He reached into his pocket and placed a folded envelope on the table. I changed my will. Her eyes flew to it. You what? I left everything to charity, Ned said, and one letter. She opened the envelope with shaking hands. Inside was a confession, hers, written in her handwriting, detailed, precise. I copied it while you slept, Ned said. You talk in your dreams. Her face crumpled. You wouldn't. I will, he said softly, if you ever forget what you did. She left that day hollowed out, a woman haunted by the quiet footsteps of consequence. Grandpa Ned poured himself a fresh glass of wine that evening. He sniffed it, tasted carefully, then smiled. Bitter things, he knew, always revealed themselves if you took the time to notice.